last thing that I remember.
Yes, you all had went hunting with Juriston for to investigate the scene of a stag that was supposedly killed by a werewolf. And Juriston was very impressed with the way Torin handled himself.
That's right, I forgot about that.
And in the end, let's see.
How many werewolves did I kill?
You were busy rolling around, poisoned by the dire boar bacon.
And I was in the woods. Trial of the Beast, that's the one I need. And that's where yeah, you fought the boars and drove them off, and the hunter didn't want anything to do with the hunt afterwards, and he had left before nightfall. We all sat around the campfire drinking, and then you heard a scream, went to investigate, and come across a werewolf holding a she drops the body that she's holding and demands to know what you're doing in their territory. And just as a reminder, she tells you that your false explanations are meaningless. Go tell whoever sent you to stay out of wolf affairs. And let him know that his dealings with Mathis and the Silverhide Pack do not sit well with the other tribes of the woods. There will be much blood spilled before a Silverhide Pack Lord sits upon the high throne. Mathis the Betrayer shall never claim the title, and should you and yours continue to support him, the wrath of the Wolf Pack shall fall upon him. Now leave our territory and return to your cozy wooden den, or suffer the fate of these poor little sheep. And as they were growling at you, you could hear even more howls coming from the woods, and common sense prevailed, and you all retreated back to the lodge. And we need to go to and put y'all back on the map for the lodge.
I think it's time we start testing these people with the lodge to see if they're werewolves. I believe that the official test to know if someone is a werewolf or not is you take a silver sword and you stab them through the heart. If they died, they were a werewolf.
We're totally getting kicked out of the place.
Photos, there's and Villager is no longer with us. There's Bajira.
Alright, I gotta go wash my hands. Be back in 1 second. I'll be ready.
Yeah, not a problem. Any of you all get to see the eclipse today?
I tried, but we didn't really get to see a whole lot. It was very overcast, so that didn't help either.
It was only a 70% eclipse up here, so yeah, it didn't even get all that dark really.
We were at 99.5% totality.
I was asleep.
It was
That's
pretty cool,
pretty cool.
it's a lot of excitement for just, a couple minutes.
Right.
And then it was over.
I was a little frustrated as I thought the way they'd made it seem that we were going to get that kind of a thing up here, and you really couldn't hardly tell. I was a little bummed about that. They made a
Yep.
big thing of it that was going to go through Iowa, and afterwards I'm like, they didn't do anything really. What's going on? And I looked it up, and they were like, yeah, there was only 450 acres in the very southwestern tip, was the exact opposite corner of the state from me, that actually got to see it. So I was like, really?
Oh, it was funny. Yeah, we had a ton of people in the national park for it. NASA come in and set up, and hopefully they got something good.
Cool.
And okay, so you all made it. You were able to safely retreat back to the lodge, and yeah, everyone's got the map up.
Did we feed Villager to the werewolves?
No, Villager has dropped out for family reasons.
No, I knew.
Oh,
In-game
For nerds,
explanation,
his
did he
in-game
fall in
explanation.
a nasty pit trap and succumb to the terrors therein?
He ran off to become a werewolf.
once he saw the werewolves, he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gone."
He's allergic to fur.
I may see if he'd like to sit in on a session and play Villager as a werewolf. Okay, you all managed to retreat safely back to the lodge. And upon your arrival, the halfling porter, Bellic, greets you, and he's wearing an apologetic grin, and he's carrying the silver tray with hand-carved wooden mugs containing a steaming beverage. And he hollers out for you all and beckons you over. And as you get close, he's like, gentlemen, please accept my most sincere apologies for my inappropriate behavior the day before. I was not informed of your coming, and I acted hastily on behalf of the lodge warden. I can assure you that you will suffer no further ill treatment during your stay at the lodge. And he politely offers you all some hot coffee.
Yeah, that's right. You keep this shit flowing.
And he's like, if it's convenient for you all, my master requests your company at this time for a brief introduction and to uh, offer his apologies to you all as well.
Well, with Villager gone, we lack a face. How is Vagira's charisma?
Were you asking for Bahira's charisma?
Yeah.
6.
Everyone loves giant cat though, so
I'm pretty sure he can turn the cute cuddly eyes on though. We could roll for that.
We might have to rely on that.
Okay.
Mine isn't much better. I'm at just an average 10.
You still beat me. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that we'll agree to go meet with his master.
Okay, and Juriston says, go ahead, guys. I'll catch up with you later on. The 29. Okay, he leads you into the lodge, and I'm going to use Torin, and he takes you up the staircase, or takes you up into the lodge, and let's just move all of you at one time. But he takes you up into the main staircase of the main entrance of the lodge, which it's a flight of wide slate stairs climbing up onto a shallow porch, and you see a pair of massive iron-shod timbered doors. There's a small brass bell by the door, and he takes you. He takes you up that central staircase right there. And going upstairs. And I got another map coming at you. But he leads you up a flight of stairs and opens a door and takes you down the hallway. Body in a square. And you walk into a circular room, and there's shelves lining the walls. And you can see hundreds of reference books, and just glancing as you walk by, there's books on botany, demonology, geology, history, and religion. And in the center of the room, there's a couple of cubicles providing areas for reading. There's a fireplace that's heating the room. And there's an ascending flight of stairs that go up. That would be ascending.
Wow, I was like, ascending to go up? Are you sure?
Man, after playing with Balkoth, I have got to watch what I say because he nails me on it every single time.
Hey, I didn't actually say it. I was just thinking it.
Let's see. Um, when you open, you see a gentleman sitting at one of the cubicles and so forth. And as you enter, he stands up and introduces himself. Um, I'm sorry, he stands up and Bellick does a low bow, and he's like, esteemed guest, may I present Estevonian, yeah, I'm not even going to try, the lodge warden. And the guy thanks the porter and curtly dismisses him. And he waits till he hears the halfling's footsteps fade off down the hall. And he speaks in kind of a somber tone, and he's like, gentlemen, and he's looking at Baltos rather strangely, and he's like, please don't hold the actions of my porters the action of my porter against him. The error in your improper greeting was entirely mine. Um, I neglected to inform my staff of the open invitations that I gave to the order. And he pauses and winks, and they did not recognize the reservations. Rest assured, however, that all the lodge's facilities are at your disposal, including our libraries. Um, while the general library is down the hall, this one, and he gestures at all the shelves, is likely better suited to your research. And he just kind of pauses and gives you all an opportunity to speak.
We appreciate your hospitality, no matter how belated.
We also appreciate your hostility because we find it humorous.
He's like, once again, it is entirely my fault, and the lodge is at your disposal. Should you require anything out of the ordinary, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I do have to apologize once again, but I regrettably have some business to attend to at this time. Um, Bellick is waiting for you just down the hall, and he will show you to your rooms. Feel free to ask him for whatever you need. And he bows at you and ascends the staircase in the back of the room. And Bellick appears and says, gentlemen, if you're ready, I will take you to your rooms.
I would like to ask that question if I get the opportunity. If he knows anything about the power struggle or whatever it seems to be with the werewolves that we encountered the night before.
No, sir. I really don't know what happens outside of the lodge. The lodge is my main priority. Occasionally, you do hear rumors. And he's sure that, there's better people to ask than myself. And let's see, you are in rooms C and E. And on this current map, that's one of your rooms, and that's one of your rooms.
They're not adjoining? Are you kidding me? What kind of lodge is this?
Oh, man.
I get the kobold. He can sleep on the floor. I get the bed.
And let's see. Yeah, they provide you with these nice, quaint little rooms. Each room already has a nice warm fire going and so forth. And Bellic, Bellic goes, gentlemen, do you require anything else from me?
Do you know anything about the local werewolf packs?
No, sir, I sure don't.
Have you had any unusual guests stay at the lodge lately, aside from ourselves, of course?
Um, we have on, let's see, we have all kinds of colorful individuals that visit the lodge. No one particularly stands out. And if I remember, the Whispering Way was probably headed to the lodge.
Yeah, I thought that was why the judge suggested we head here.
Um, he does. He's like, I can't divulge too much about the nature of our business, but we did have a few individuals that stopped by the lodge a couple of days ago, but they didn't spend the night and they were only here briefly. And that's about all that I can tell you or even know.
Of course, we understand.
And gentlemen, you are free to explore the lodge and do as you wish. And if you don't need anything further, I will go about my duties.
Sorry, are there any? I assume there's other guests present at the moment.
Yes, there are other guests in the lodge. And for you should be able to find a lot of them on the downstairs floor. And Bellic tells you, that the grand ballroom, the trophy room, and the kitchens and so forth are located downstairs.
Thank you for your assistance.
And let's see, it was night when you were hunting. I'm going to go ahead and give you an overnight rest. Just so everybody is refreshed. And give you time to compose yourselves, say your prayers and whatnot. And you are free to do whatever you would like. The majority of the upstairs is the reading rooms and just private guest rooms and so forth. And there's a couple of balconies on the upstairs. As I said, the majority of everything is located downstairs.
Well, the first thing that Darius is likely to do is go check out the libraries. He's probably best suited to hunt around in the books and see if he can find anything.
Okay. In the reading library, bookshelves line both walls of this long room. You see a multi-shelf central partition dividing the area. There's a small fireplace. In this room, the majority of the books here are for entertainment. There's novels, plays, and a collection of short stories and essays, as well as poetry. And as Estevonian said, the other library that you all were in would be the one that you are most interested in.
I'd like to probably go there and do some research as well.
Valtos, what would you like to do? Valtos.
He's going to sleep in the corner and stay far, far away from my bed.
Okay, let's see. As you're in the library, like I said, it was a wide selection of books on everything from botany to demonology. And you're going to spend some time in the library, I assume. Would you guys like to make a perception check?
Is it one that we can take a 10 or a 20 on and just spend, the hours in here? Or is it something, that we just quick notice?
Yeah, we'll take a 20 on it.
Did not intend to roll that for Bajira.
She was sniffing the books, looking for something suspicious.
That could be.
And let's see. You find a collection of old travelers' journals, and um, the journal's author is not named, but you can tell that he was a worshiper of Desna, and he recorded several entries describing his pilgrimage to an ancient abandoned temple and observatory in the Shutterwood, known as the Stairs of the Moon. And the journal includes a description of the temple, but its exact location, those details are frustratingly vague. Um, the pages are bookmarked. Um, the pages are bookmarked with a folded piece of paper, and scribbled on the faded note, you see the words, uh, see Halo of Dreams on page 322, filed under religion upstairs. See Halo of Dreams on page 322 under religion upstairs.
That's where our host went, right? Estevan?
Yes. Um, okay, let's do, spend some time and just do a little more research and get some of this out of the way. Okay, you find that the Whispering Way is an ancient organization of necromancers with ties to the Whispering Tyrant. Um, you find a couple references to an ancient ruin in the forest called the Stairs of the Moon. And it was believed to be destroyed long ago by agents of the Whispering Tyrant when he still ruled under Yusilov. And there's a note that the ruins are reputed to now be haunted by vengeful spirits. Ooh, how's that for foreshadowing?
Dun dun dun.
And let's get into researching the werewolves now. um, you find out that there are 5 major tribes of werewolves roaming within the Shutterwood. And you find reference that the tribes will meet at the ancient ruin called the Stairs of the Moon.
Where do you think we should be heading to?
And let's see. And I'm going to list all these tribes to you here in just a second. And through your research, you know that the werewolves are ruled by a single pack lord, chosen from one of the 5 tribes, and that a new pack lord must consume the heart of their predecessor to claim the title. And you find some evidence that the one of the 5 tribes has historically been enemies of the Whispering Tyrant and his minions. And the 5 tribes that you uncover, their common names are the Broken Ones, the Demon Wolves, the Silver Hides, the Prince's Wolves, which are the ones that have are enemies of the Whispering Tyrants, and the Volensag, and they are also known as the Primals. And the Broken Ones, they typically settle in remote or isolated territories. They build small communities near the edge of the woods. For the most part, they pose as simple farmers or trappers. They live and hunt in small packs. They target lone travelers or people who have strayed from larger groups. Physically, they're smaller than the other tribes, and they transform into red wolves.
Was that the primal, or which ones were that?
That is the Broken Ones. The red wolves. The Their leader is a druid. And what you learn about the next pack, which would be the Demon Wolves, they are the smallest and most recently formed pack. In the Shutterwood. They're made up of newly affected werewolves or afflicted werewolves, which new werewolves are typically scorned by most natural werewolves. The tribe's also made up of exiles from other tribes, and they are all worshippers of where'd it go? They are all worshippers of the demon lord Giselda. Okay. Mistress of the Hungry Moon.
Did you say her name was Giselda?
Giselda. J-Z-E-L-D-A.
Sounds like the name of a prom date from the 70s.
Funny, I was thinking about the same thing.
And the leader, Demon Wolves. Their leader is a anti-paladin, and he was he willingly contracted the disease in order to prove his devotion to his demonic patron. And Giselda transformed him from an afflicted werewolf into a natural werewolf and gave him the mission to convert more werewolves to his worship. And to date, his missionary zeal has been quite successful. And as a result, the demon wolves are one of the fastest growing tribes in the region. And they may soon rise as the new lords of the woods. The Silverhides, they're known for their gray-white fur. They are more aggressive than the Broken Ones, but yet they possess more composure and subtlety than the other tribes. They rarely form standard packs. They tend to live alone. Only in times of great importance do they unite and form an organized pack. They have been the more successful at blending in with normal humans and living secretly within their communities. It descended from those afflicted by the ancient high priest of Desna. The Silverhides have long gathered at the stairs of the moon to pay homage to the spirit of their ancestors. And the Prince's Wolves that should be Prince's Wolves. They have ties to a crime family. This tribe was created as a part of a prince's, and I'll put his name there. He's a local landowner, and this tribe was created as part of his effort to get agents of the Whispering Tyrant off of his land. This pack maintains a tight pack structure. They spend most of their time traveling in small family groups, pickpocketing, to support themselves. They can transform into wolves with brown or gray fur. And their current tribe leader is Rakis. And then you have the Volensag, also known as the Primals. They are the smallest of the Shutterwood tribes. They are all descended from ancient Kelid tribes who once inhabited these lands before being driven out by invading Parisians. And at present, according to the research that you're finding, there's roughly about 30 members. However, despite their declining membership, they have the ability to transform into large gray dire wolves, which makes them an influential force among the wolves of the woods. Their leader is Kavaka Sane, pack lord over all the wolves of the Shutterwood. And that's what you learn about the 5 werewolf tribes.
Now, if we could only remember what the werewolf in the forest told us about who would never become pack leader.
I don't care. Kill them all.
We have to stop having evil members of our party who want to kill everything.
I'm not evil. Werewolves are evil. My mission in life is to kill werewolves.
Wow. I don't know, any mission that involves killing other things can't be all that good.
Werewolves are evil creatures.
We don't know that every single one of them is. They might just be misunderstood.
Okay, and for now, that's about all you can find in this current library.
Now, do we want to go talk to Estevan and ask him about that book, or should I sneak into his office later and look to find it? The fact that it's, in his private room raises some alarm bells. But if we don't want to be bad guests, I guess we could always just ask him about it.
Whichever way you want to do it.
Yeah, if no one else has any opinion, I'll wait until later. I assume, well, I mean, we wouldn't know if he's still up there or not, but is it, what is it, sort of afternoon, is it evening, what time of day is it?
Let's say about now, because it was night when you all were back, probably early morning when you reached the lodge. Yeah, let's say it's about 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, I'll wait until it's darker before I do any disreputable things.
Bouncing bow wow.
And take a note on that page.
So
So
we
would
might.
you?
All I
Yeah,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say is we might want to consider going to socialize then until it gets a little darker out. Meet some of the other guests and see if any of them sort of give us any clues or make us suspicious.
And then we'll put you all back on the downstairs map now. Are you shitting me? I just crashed.
Are you guys still there? Or did we lose everything?
Yeah, it should. Servers back up. Let's see.
There we go.
There, it blinked away.
And okay. Try this one more time. And test successful. That one. And let's turn that one off. Okay, give me a second to get my screen set up here again. Here,
Oh my god, Lonely Sword's back from the dead!
Well, he still has me there, and he still has Lonely Sword Dead level 7 there as well. I don't know why. I guess he's just a dick.
Okay, I'll delete him. Lonely Sword Dead is dead.
I was rooting for his rotting corpse to show up and try to kill us sometime.
I assume that they buried me, I'm pretty sure.
No.
After they,
After we looted
looted my
you.
corpse, they buried me.
Yes.
No. We tossed you just in a ditch at the roadside. We got all the good stuff.
Okay, coming down the hallway, you find yourself, reshare the map in case y'all don't save right now.
All right, guys, I gotta go help my wife with my youngest daughter. She had burned herself yesterday really bad at church. She dumped a cup of hot coffee down her chest, so we gotta go give her a little sponge bath here. So.
Yeah,
I've
no
always, I've
problem.
always said you shouldn't go to church.
Right? I know we hadn't been in a long time. We felt like we better get going, and it's like, kind of wondering about that message there.
Okay, you all come down and you're in the grand hall, which down the hallway you can see the grand ballroom. This is pretty much the centerpiece of the ground floor. There's golden pine floor planks. Uh, Stretching, the entire length of the hall. There's four massive tree trunks serving as pillars running down the center of the room, supporting the ceiling overhead. Uh, you can see large hide rugs and trophy heads of bears, bucks, and wolves adorning the floor and the walls, and they're boasting about some of the lodge's patrons' finer kills. You see garlands and banners embroidered with crests of various aristocrats and secret orders and hunting clubs hanging from the exposed rafters high overhead. There's two stone fireplaces in this section, and down the hallway, you can see Juriston in the grand ballroom. And he kind of notices you and yells, "Hey, fellas, come on over."
Darius will head over there.
And for the time being, we'll just let Torin hang out. And as you enter the grand ballroom, once again, it's a high ceiling, and there's not any animal heads or trophies of that, but you do see a lot of banners and garlands hanging from the rafters. And Juriston says, "Hey, Darius, how are you doing?"
Quite well, thank you. Have you settled back in after the hunt?
Oh, absolutely. And, I really appreciate you guys going on that hunt with me.
It turned out to be quite interesting. Have you ever had the chance to actually talk to werewolves before?
Most times I just try to kill them.
Understandable, yes. Do you know anything about the local packs?
Yes, I know there's a little bit of controversy going on amongst the packs. A little while ago, the main pack leader was assassinated.
That might explain some of the anger they had. Sounded like they thought someone here at the lodge might be involved in their politics.
That you know that struck me as odd, and I've been thinking about it, but I don't know who would be involved with him in that regard.
Have you been here very long?
Um, let's see. Um, Lucky. I've been here for roughly about a week.
Ah, so you've gotten to know some of the staff and guests?
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you, none of them are quite the adventurers that you all are. And you can tell that he is just truly starstruck being in the company of real adventurers. And he's, yes, I can,
It's true. We're amazing.
uh, you, my little friend, were just awesome. And where is Torin? I really would like to talk with him. I'm sure he's got some even more better stories to tell.
I'm sure he'll be along shortly. He was just having a look around.
And yes, well, I can't wait to talk with him. And he's like, yes, I've been here for a week, and you know, I'm really trying to make a name for myself as a werewolf slayer. And you know, I've had a few successful hunts, and to date, you know, I've slain 3 of them.
It's quite an accomplishment. I'm assuming that you've never run across them in numbers like we found out there.
And no, I have not. And, you know, I'm just glad that I was with a group of seasoned adventurers. You know, everybody else in this lodge, you know, they're pampered politicians. And they don't come here to hunt. They come to escape their nagging spouses. And you can tell that he's got a little contempt for them.
Hey, Winter, with Torn AFK right now and stuff, this is a good time for me to head to work, I think.
Yeah, that'd work.
So I'll be back on in a couple minutes, guys.
Sounds good.
Do y'all want to continue, or you want to take 5, 10, and let everybody finish
User
up?
disconnected from your channel.
I'm good pausing if you want. Yeah, we can come back in 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's take 5, and I'll give everybody a chance to finish up.
Sounds good.
Juriston. And he's like, guys, I made you an offer to get one of these werewolf wards. Would you like to take me up on that offer? And he shows you the scar again. And, you know, it's supposed to prevent you from becoming a werewolf.
Darius looks dubious.
Well, you all think about it, and if you want one, let me know, and I'll have my girl come and fix you up real quick.
Guess I'm getting one.
And
I don't know, you might want to stay away because I'm pretty sure if you come into the room, he might swoon.
yes, he's been asking where you're at, Torin.
Right? Yeah. No, I'll volunteer for one, I guess. What's the worst that could happen?
He says, well, I'll come up to your room later tonight, and she'll take care of it for you.
I bet you will.
And he's like, I'm sorry, where are my manners? Come on, sit down around the table with me, join me. And he motions for one of the waiters to bring over a round of drinks, and looking down the hall, he's like, is that Torin? Come join us, Torin.
Pats his lap. You can sit here.
Is that like a hide check?
Not good enough.
Dang it. Yeah, I'll walk down there and join him.
He's like, I've been waiting for you. And, you know, I was just so amazed at how you handled the boar. How long?
Yep. Little piggy on a stick.
Yes, someday you must teach me to shoot like you do. And he's like, you know, I've said it time and time again. I am just so happy to be surrounded by real adventurers. And he kind of gets a little somber for a minute. And he's like, you know, truly, I have just gotten lucky. And I do not have anywhere near the skills that you all do. And, you know, I'm just so impressed with you all that, and the waiter comes over and it's like, just in time. And here, guys, have a drink on me.
Graciously
Okay,
accept.
okay.
Don't mind if I do.
I don't drink. I won't be having any.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It,
Don't
it
drink
doesn't work well
anything?
with the reptilian, cold-blooded body. You understand?
Would you prefer a hot coffee?
Yes, that would be delicious.
And he orders a hot coffee and sends the porter back away. And he's just constantly, wants to know the best way to hold a sword. And, he's just starstruck and he's trying to get, as much useful information so he can become this legendary werewolf slayer that he's envisioning himself. And you all are free to steer the conversation any way you would like.
Well, if he's all big on the werewolves and the hunting, surely he must have some knowledge of the five tribes and the politics therein, I would think.
Has he ever heard of the stairs of the moon?
No, he has not. Um, yeah, about the werewolves, he stated that, there's some current chaos since, the pack leader was assassinated a short time ago. And, they're in some disarray and they're fighting amongst themselves. And, once again, he talks about the werewolf that you all encountered, blaming the lodge for a betrayal by one of their own, a werewolf named Mathis. And, I don't know what any of it means, but if they're in chaos, it might just make my hunts easier. And
Maybe he put them in chaos to have easier hunts.
once again, he talks about he gets back off the subject of werewolves, and he talks about how most of the people here just really aren't true hunters. They're politicians and just people hiding from their misses and so forth.
Garrus
And
will ask about the guy who came with us on the hunt and then left early. If he knows anything about him.
yes, just a second to pull up him. Yes, he's the lodge's huntsmaster, and he leads the majority of the hunts for the guest here at the lodge. He's a brilliant game hunter, they say. He loves capturing aggressive and exotic animals, and at times, some of the animals that he hunts and captures, they will release into the woods for, special guests of the lodge to hunt. And, there's a lot of patrons who will pay extra for the exotic hunt.
Like hunting werewolves, perhaps?
Really, the exotic animals, you would have to ask him. And uh, generally, you don't see him in the. I haven't seen him in the lodge a whole lot, except right after a hunt, and he'll come in and have a few drinks and deliver these stories of this hunt or previous hunts. And I think it's all just a sales pitch, trying to get them to buy into one of his exotic hunts.
That would make sense.
What if not?
What'd you say, Locke?
I said, what if it's not?
I don't know.
He's a better hunter than you, then.
Yeah.
He's level 10.
And, he's like, there's a lot of different people here, and he goes down and just gives you a brief rundown of everybody, which I made a public note for you all. You got Silas, who's a retired military commander. You've got Corvin, who is a noble, and looks like he's just staying here for a while. You got Marquisa, who's a fox hunter and very wealthy. And she has Ostovich, who is her quote unquote companion. And he's also he's a personal huntsmaster for her. And he leads his hunts. Where the hell did she go? He leads the hunts with 4 fearsomely large wolfhounds. And there's a rumor that her and Ostovich are having a torrid affair, and he just kind of winks and goes on. And then you have the Madame Evanja, who is a courtesan and quite possibly, they say, a fortune teller as well. And these are pretty much the key people that's at the lodge. And, he's like, you all should probably talk to Silas. He's a retired military commander. And, he's infamous for the ruthless brutality of his martial strategy. And, he served under Count Nesca of Barstow. But he might be someone you adventurers might have something in common with, if any of you all have ever been in the military. They say he has a brilliant mind.
Does he frequent the ballroom?
Make sure it's brilliant mind and not brilliant mime, because I've seen some really good mimes lately.
um, yeah, pretty much. You'll see everybody, at one of the meal times or just running about around in the lodge.
We'll have to keep an eye out for him then. He sounds like an interesting individual.
Yes, he's told a couple of stories that I've listened to, and I was just, he's amazing, for, aristocracy. And plays the, after the military, he, got involved in politics and so forth, and
I see. Have you had any interactions with our lodge master?
other than meeting him when I first arrived, no. Um, he keeps to himself quite a lot.
Interesting. You'd think he'd be more attentive to the wishes of his guests.
Well, that's what the the
Porters for?
porters. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got a good welcome from them the other day.
They've tried to make up for it at least.
Oh yes, that was right before the hunt. You guys were outside the gate, weren't you?
We were. They didn't seem keen on letting us in, but it seems to have sorted itself out.
Well, I am glad to hear that everything worked out for you. And, had it not worked itself out, I would have personally vouched for you all as my guest. And,
And we certainly appreciate it.
I don't know how long you're here for, but maybe we can do another hunt together.
It seems quite likely that we'll want to go out and explore the woods again, yeah.
And he looks over and he's like, yeah, maybe Torin can give me a few lessons while we're out there as well.
I will do what I can.
And let's see. And, it's been a while. You've had a couple of drinks and so forth, and a few coffees. You now have a caffeinated kobold.
There's no caffeine in hot chocolate.
I
Oh,
believe
I'm
it was
sorry.
coffee.
Yeah, well, it was coffee.
It was
You didn't
hot
offer it?
chocolate I was offered.
He offered you coffee, not hot chocolate. You are totally wired now.
No, it was definitely hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee. I drink hot chocolate.
Okay, hot chocolate made with Red Bull.
There you go.
You're recording this. I'll go listen on YouTube afterwards. I swear it was hot chocolate.
I know he said coffee, dude. I hate to tell you that, but
Yeah,
It was coffee.
You said hot before, so I automatically heard chocolate.
that I can buy.
Because if you say hot, then the
Excuses.
next word has to be chocolate. In regards to drinks.
And after you've had a few drinks and a few hot chocolates, Belric appears into the grand ballroom, and he's like, "Gentlemen, we are serving dinner now in the dining room. If you all would like to have some dinner."
I'm all about the food. Lead the way.
Yes, that sounds quite well. Good. What's on the menu?
Red meat.
I
Probably
figured it'd be
boar
dire
meat.
boar bacon again.
Okay, and as you enter the room, Silas is there. Uh, Images. And Corbin is there. And naturally, Dristan. And yes, the dining room can seat up to 24 guests. There's tall picture windows into the curved southeastern wall, providing plenty of light, and you can see a view of the herb gardens outside a cottage in the distance. And the table is set, and you see this fantastic dinner laid out for you. You know, there's ham and whatever else you eat from a pig. And vegetables and so forth. And Silas and Corbin both look at Baltos when he walks into the room, and very strangely. And it's like, what is that doing in here?
Don't worry, he's tame, and we're like 65% sure he's housebroken.
Are they talking about me?
Yes, they're talking about you.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay. They just continued just to look on strangely at this strange little kobold. And they introduced themselves to everyone.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Yeah, what brings you all to the lodge? Silas says.
We were directed
We are on
here
a secret
by
mission for the king.
a judge back in that city I've forgotten. Rewarded us for our good service and suggested that we stop by here to sample the local hospitality.
Oh, were you all there during the trial of the beast?
We were
Indeed.
indeed. That's the service
Oh
that
wait, I wasn't. Sorry.
that brought us here. We helped defend him.
Defend, but I thought he was guilty of the crimes.
No, we found evidence that uh, he had not been guilty of it. That it was in fact other parties, make it look like it was him to take advantage of his strange appearance, try to turn the locals against him.
And he contemplates a couple of seconds on it and says, well, I'm glad that you were able to provide justice and to who it was needed and to prevent someone innocent from paying for their crimes. And he's like, sit down and let's eat. And,
And I warn him to be careful of the dire boar, but I think it might be bad for his digestion.
and yeah, Corbin says, sit down and let's eat. I'm starved. And Corbin, you can tell, has a just by the way he's dressed and so forth, that he's probably an aristocrat of some sort. And let's see, he walks over and puts his hand on the back of Valthos's chair and says, so, little fella, what's your story?
Oh, hello. My name is Valthos. I, shit. What was it? I grew up with the paladins of Bahamahut, and I am one of the descendants of the great deity Bahamahut himself. And my goal in life is to destroy evil, vampires, undead, werewolves, that sort of thing.
He also hates the aristocracy.
Well, I am pleased to have met you.
Oh, thank you. Pleased to meet you too. You're much nicer than most humans I've met so far.
Oh, well, thank you.
And you smell better too.
And it just got weird.
I think this is the point where you're supposed to say, is he talking about me?
They know I am.
And, he sits down and starts eating and so forth. And, it's just the idle chit-chat during dinner, unless you all wish to discuss something different.
Hey, I'll back in a couple minutes, guys. I got something to do here.
Not a problem.
We could probably mention our encounter with the werewolves.
Silas was very interested in hearing about that, and he's like, "How many of them do you think there were?"
Yeah, I would say there were probably dozens out there, but only a couple presented themselves to us, fortunately. But the howls definitely suggested that the woods were full of them.
Well, I will keep my eyes peeled during my next few hunts. For them.
An excellent idea. On our way here to the lodge, we stumbled across someone who would run afoul of them.
And on a side note, that reservation for that gentleman that you recovered from the dead body,
Mhm.
you're in his room.
Oh,
And he's like, yeah, we've been hearing rumors that, there's been some chaos amongst all the werewolves, and, they're, some say it might even be on the brink of a civil war. Apparently, their pack leader was killed, and having that chain of command that the military has, this is what you get when you don't have proper leadership in place for your troops. There's no clear succession. And
yes. We read something about their ways of picking their leader. It sounded quite violent, having to eat the heart of their predecessor.
that I had not heard.
Yes, when we were out in the woods, one of them mentioned that um, the assassins might have had help from someone here at the lodge. A very ridiculous claim, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I doubt anyone here at the lodge cons- um, would deal with such lower class beings. And as for e- eating the heart of your predecessor, well, you know, that's typical in certain cultures around our world, and, it shows power. I personally am glad in the military I never had to eat the heart of my predecessor.
It would definitely give you a different outlook. Advancement might not be quite as popular.
He laughs and says, "Ain't that the truth?"
Now, have you been staying here for very long?
Uh, I've been here for a couple of weeks. I am, I love hunting. And, I try to get up here as often as I can.
Understandable. It's quite a interesting place. We're just curious about some of the other guests who might have been here before we arrived. Did you notice any unusual groups pass through in the past couple weeks?
You know, a few days ago, we had a party of mysterious guests that were here just very briefly. I just saw them come in, and that evening, they weren't at dinner, so I asked if we had new guests, and I was told no, that they had already departed.
Interesting. You said you're here a lot. Have you often seen guests just stop by for a few hours?
Uh, that's not uncommon with, some of the lodge patrons like myself. This is a second home to us. And, if we're traveling somewhere on business and we have an opportunity just to swing by and have a beer and socialize with our friends, we'll do it. But, you know, I just thought it was strange that they didn't do any socializing while they were here. Granted, I wasn't watching them the full time, but I saw them come, and I just thought it was, strange that they left without, having a beer or telling a story of the hunt. Because you know us hunters, we love our stories.
That does sound strange. So you didn't see them speaking to anyone while they were here?
Uh, Other than the porter, when they first arrived, and a lot of the guests here, with my background, they consult with me quite a lot or want to hear the war stories. So, I was otherwise detained.
Of course, of course.
And Corbin's like, no, I didn't get to see them at all. And let's see. Um, the door opens, and Esteban, which don't believe I've given you a picture of him, walks in and, gentlemen, how are you enjoying your dinner here at the lodge?
Delicious. Werewolf tastes great. I say that as I stab some dire bear.
He's not sure quite how to respond to you. And he's like, once again, gentlemen, my apologies for your initial arrival. And if you need anything, please let a member of the staff know and we'll take care of it.
Much appreciated.
And gentlemen, I have other duties to attend to, so I will bid you farewell.
Of course.
And he walks out of the room and shuts the door. And um, Corbin goes, he is just such a funny little man. I don't particularly care for him.
Why is that?
It's just all political.
He was really cocky for a book nerd.
What do you mean all political? You don't agree with his politics?
Yes, he is, he's kind of a diehard traditionalist. And he prefers, old aristocratic order. And, from time to time, he's manipulated feelings of, various aristocrats and worthy merchants who have stayed at the lodge, and politically, just he doesn't hold a title, but people just really don't care for him.
I see.
And at this time, you've finished eating dinner. Servants have come in and started clearing the tables and so forth, and Juristan's like, Torin, why don't you tell Silas one of your hunting stories? And Silas kind of rolls his eyes at Juristan's comment.
I'm sure I can regale them with something or other from my youth.
And, Silas sits there and he listens to your story politely and so forth. Dristan, on the other hand, is caught up in the excitement of your story and is constantly interrupting you, telling, well, what kind of grip did you have during when you knew combat was going to happen, and asking all these types of questions about your battles and so forth. And eventually you're able to get to the end of your story. And Dristan goes, see, fellas, I told you, they're great adventurers. And Corbin kind of snickers at, the prospect of you being great adventurers. And Silas goes, yes, indeed, they are great adventurers. You can tell that he's not overly impressed with his military career.
Falthos, kill!
It's probably a good thing Vox away.
I was
What?
gonna say, it's one of the
Who's
good
away?
things
I'm not
about
away.
being in my class and my alignment. I really don't give a shit what you think about me.
Did you yell for me to kill someone?
No, certainly not.
All right, I'll kill him. Who is it? Point at him. Point at him. Who is it? You're getting me very excited now. Who needs to kill him?
Oh, I've got to find a Pathfinder disease that caffeinates people. Oh, wait, there's drugs in Pathfinder, ain't there?
Yeah, there's beer. Lots of beer. Mead.
Here, drink this, Falthos. It's water, really. Don't worry about the strange taste.
Yes, you'll get over
It burns my tummy.
And they go, gentlemen, if I'd say we get out of the dining room and go sit in front of the fire and tell more stories if you're up to it.
Sure.
And you walk up around the grand hall and so forth, and you enter a room that contains couches, chairs, a few end tables. You can see several portraits of nobility adorning the walls. There's a stone fireplace keeping the room warm. And as you were on the way there, uh, this room right here, with the fireplace in the center, um, the fireplace is the centerpiece of this tremendous room. There are stuffed animals of every kind imaginable lining the walls, and each has a small brass plaque detailing the name of the hunter and the date that it was killed. And as you pass by, um, you can recognize a few of the names as Yusuf's elite aristocrats or wealthy merchants or powerful diplomats. In the center of the room, the 8 largest trophies are poised in striking positions upon these huge wooden bases. And they are a chimera, a river chul, a dire bear, a fire lizard, a griffin, a juvenile manticore, a giant mantis, and, to top it all off, a 2-headed troll. And, everybody's pointing them out as you walk by, and Juriston goes, it's a great honor to have a permanent display here. And a lot of people compete for the bragging rights. But, as all hunters will argue and question the authenticity of the kills, and there's few discussions and 1 or 2 duels that have been fought over all these accusations. And
I killed all these dire boars by myself. I mean werewolves.
I hope they don't have stuffed werewolves in here.
So, you eyeball them as you walk past, and you find a comfortable chair in the sitting room. And for the next couple of hours, you just regale one another with your hunting stories and stories of your adventures. And before it gets too late in the evening, they look over at Valtos and say, you've been awful quiet. Why don't you tell us a story?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes, tell us one of your great adventure stories.
Me? You sure you
Yes.
don't mean him?
Do you not have a story to tell?
Well, I mean, sure, but it's already been told.
Is it about Bahamut again? You didn't hunt Bahamut, did you?
Isn't it the great deity Bahamut? I would ask you to respect my patron deity and pronounce him correctly, or at least, what I think is correctly. I mean, I lived at the monastery my whole life. I just left recently. And other than meeting up with these folks and what was I fighting when I met them? Something evil.
What was what?
What was I fighting when I met the group? They came in and helped me in a fight.
Oh, that was Oh, the Weaver Worm. What was before then?
Was it Ettercaps?
I thought it was like undeads. I don't remember. Does anyone remember?
You had the Weaver Worm in the tower. Eyes in the woods.
I thought it was spiders or Ettercaps.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it was Ettercap as well.
It was a what? An ender cap?
Ettercap spider. So anyway, they listened to your story and
Well,
first,
yeah, okay. So I'll tell them the story of me fighting these things when I met up with the group, and then the fighting of the giant. It was like a really big spider thing outside the tower, and then we went into the tunnel and fought a worm.
yes.
Yeah, so I'll regale them with those, and then I'll go on to tell the glorious tale of us going up for the hunt and killing all those werewolves and how we just ate them for supper.
Dristan just kind of laughs and he's like, yeah, our young friend here is really all about the werewolves.
Well, I've heard there's werewolves here. I must kill more. Must kill them all. Must kill all.
Don't get salt in your eye.
Okay.
Nervous.
So anyway, Silas, after a couple of hours, excuses himself, and Corbin's, he's just really enjoying having a drink, and Dristan's all about the battle, but it's starting to get late in the evening, and Corbin's like, gentlemen, I must retire, and um, he bids you all farewell and leaves the room, and Duristan goes, now, uh, back to those werewolf wards. Who wants one?
Torian.
Torian.
That would be me. Yep. Hmm.
Uh, Torian, tell you what, I'll meet you up in your room in, say, like half an hour. It'll take me a little while to uh, go find my girl that can give you a ward, and we'll meet you up there. And Dristan leaves the room. And uh, the four of you all are left alone.
So, anyone have any thoughts? Do any of these people seem overly suspicious?
I don't know.
I didn't get that feeling. I guess. I don't know. Did you?
We just start stabbing people with silver knives until one of them reacts.
Well, they might just be co-conspirators with the werewolves. They might not actually be a werewolf. So that wouldn't prove anything.
Well, then I don't care. I am only here to kill werewolves.
You're very single-minded. Broaden your horizons. Do you think Bahamut only kills one kind of evil creature?
No, I kill werewolves, vampires, undeads. There's lots of different ones. It's just this area has werewolves, so I'm going to kill werewolves. And once I'm slaughtering all the werewolves in this area, I'll move on to the next area and find more to kill. Maybe it will be vampires next, or undead. Who knows?
You're traveling with a homicidal maniac.
Homicidal maniacs kill living creatures, not evils.
Well, technically
Only
werewolves are
slightly
living.
different than his possessor.
Yeah, they don't seem. I mean, the military guy just seems kind of stiff. The aristocrat seems like a bit of a jackass.
Wow, an asshole noble, you don't say.
Right?
That is a very good description of him.
Well, we could try to meet the other guests, and I still think I should try to break into Estevan's office tonight to see if we can find that book.
Okay, you want to adjourn to your rooms now?
Yes. Wait, can I go to somebody else's room?
You are in a hurry, aren't you, Torin?
You want to come to my room? We can have a slumber party.
Joker's to the left. How's that song go?
Yeah, you don't really have any good choices. I bet. Well, no, that won't help you at all.
Okay, Torin. Um, you here? Yeah, I believe you two are down here. Cobalt and Darius were up there. A short while after you've been in the room, you hear a knock on the door.
It puts the
Is this like
lotion on its
Jehovah's Witness?
skin.
If you just be quiet, they go away. I'll answer the door. Come on in.
Okay, Duristan enters the room with his witch, and it's a pretty. She's a very pretty young woman.
Wait a
However,
minute. Is she pretty young or is she pretty and young?
pretty and young.
Okay, that could be a huge difference.
She looks suspiciously like a prostitute. And let's see.
Wasn't it his? Isn't she his wife too, or was she just a witch?
No.
she is just a witch.
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife.
Um, you know, he introduces you and so forth, and you know, she tells you that you know this is a traditional hex that she learned from her grandmother, and you know, she says a few words of what may or may not sound like witchcraft to you. And takes a small knife and gives you a scar on your shoulder. And she's like, if you're bitten, this will prevent you from getting the curse. And Dristan thanks her for her time, and he looks at you, Torn, and he's like, before I send her away, do you think any of your party members would, you know, like one final chance to be
Who was
protected?
sharing a room with me here? Just me and the cat.
Yeah, you're lucky. I bet your cat will be happy to curl up around the fireplace.
Right? Pretty sure that's a growl. I don't know. I can direct him to the room and say, why don't you go down and ask him?
Thanks. I'll do that. Really, in assigning rooms, I should have probably put you two in the room with Cobalt and gave Bajira its own room. I have a feeling one's going to need watching more than the other. And Darius, you hear a knock at your door.
Je ne parle pas français.
And Juriston enters with this lovely young woman and goes, I just wanted to check to see if any of you all wanted one of the Scar wards as well.
What?
Star Ward. Let her cut on your shoulder.
To protect you from becoming a werewolf if you get bitten.
And how do we know what exactly is? Did they discuss what exactly this is?
It's folk magic.
So she's gonna slice us on the shoulder and give us this power?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a hex to prevent you from becoming a werewolf.
No.
Come on, it's the latest rage. Everybody is getting one.
It's a party bonding exercise now. You gotta do it.
No.
Does she have another knife? Because I don't think that's very sanitary if she goes cutting into me after, you know, cutting into Torian.
Well, she sticks it in the fire.
Hey, you get branded and cut.
But
So
per
lucky. I only got
per your request, you know, she produces another small little dagger in order to cut you with.
All right.
I'm,
Darius
I'm,
will.
I'm, I'm expecting her to be like, oh, don't worry, I don't use the knife. And like her nail along it, it's just scratches. She's like, you're a werewolf now.
bites into my shoulder.
So she goes ahead and gives you the mark, and Dristan looks back over at Baltos one more time and says, are you sure?
Bat, don't worry. I'm already a lizard. They can't turn me into a wolf.
This doesn't mean that he owns us now, does it? I'll be very disappointed, you know, if people turn up and we end up in slave auction somewhere.
What I'm expecting is that the this preventative measure that stops the werewolves out in the woods from turning us into werewolves when they slice us is because we've already been turned into werewolves.
Plot twist.
Which is why I'm not getting slashed, because that's what I'm worried about. But if you guys turn, don't worry, I will kill you.
Or we'll eat you, you know, either way.
Ha! Bring it. Anyways, I will go over to my bed and pray to Bahamut for a while.
You don't have a bed. I told you. The bed's mine. You get the floor by the hearth.
Yes, but you don't understand that I just ignore you.
I want a room with beds on stilts, you know, too high for a kobold to climb into. Do they have any of those beds?
And I will perform my nightly ritual of dancing.
And Garrus is horrified.
Hey, it's not that bad.
Torin, what are you doing?
Trying to recover from the stabbing, I mean the slicing of my shoulder.
Okay. As you're milling about in your room, recovering from that awesome wound, you notice there's a folded sheet of paper on your pillow.
With no chocolates?
No chocolates.
Damn, this lodge is just the ratings keep going down. Well,
What
let's
about
check
those
that.
little mints?
Mints, yes, mints.
Them tings on the pillow.
Yes, I
No,
will
there's no
inspect
mints.
and read or open it or whatever.
Okay. You find an unsigned note, and it simply says, "My friends, your investigations place you in grave danger." And that's all it says.
Any chance I can try any kind of a tracking or Bajira to smell a scent or anything? Ooh, I'll hold it up to him and have him smell it.
Bajira's not able to pick up on any particular scent.
Damn it, because he's got the track ability. Damn it.
Yeah, in a hunting lodge, you know, this place is just full of strange scents and so forth, and you know, he's just not able to pick out a particular one.
Okay. Any signs that I might pick up on, any perception or anything?
I would just like to point out that Darius didn't know that I slipped into bed with him.
I did notice, and I'm not spooning with you.
Oh, that is a thought I did not need.
I give the best tail jobs anywhere.
Oh, we definitely need a bard in the group. Spooning with a kobold. Okay, you're not able to detect anything out of the ordinary or any signs of any kind of tracks that would lead you to be able to put them together with the placing of the note.
Okay. And what that say? It just said our investigation is leading us into very dangerous.
Your investigations place you in grave danger.
Danger. Okay. So if you read between the lines, it must mean we're getting close. Now, if only we had a clue what that meant.
Darius is going to sneak out of the room, and he's going to go and see if he can get up to the Estevian's office or whatever he has on the upper floor.
I'm going to go show the letter to the rest of the party as well. And then I'm going to also beg the question, so who is our friend enough that thinks that they can write a letter to dear friends or something?
Do you want to have that conversation before you go breaking and entering Darius?
Sure, I can do that. Of course, it's always possible that's not a friend at all. Maybe it's not a warning so much as it is a veiled threat.
That is true.
You'd think if we had an actual friend, they'd just come and tell us that we were, what they know. And I can't think, everyone that we've met, the other people at the lodge, unless it's the huntsmaster, I suppose, we've already kind of socialized with. They had a chance to tell us that we're doing something dangerous. So, yeah, I don't know that I would count on the fact that it's a friendly warning.
Okay. Going up, it's after midnight by this time, and you're able to go into the reference library and you start up the stairwell, and at the top of the stairwell is a door which is locked.
I will quaff my Crypt Breaker's Draught so that I have dark vision. And I will examine the door to see if I see any signs of traps.
You are not finding any traps.
Alright, I will just try to pick the lock then.
And you did manage to pick the lock. And it goes without saying, you're not hearing any sound coming from behind the door.
Alright. It's probably good because I'm not actually that stealthy.
And as you open the door, you can see that this is Esteban's office and private library. There's a lot of shelves holding valuable text. Um,
So I am
And
looking
there's
for.
table and chairs. The book was
The Hail of Dreams.
The Halo of Dreams. Let's see.
It's filed under religion, but I don't remember the page number.
After a can you throw me another perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After a few minutes, you do find a book called The Halo of Dreams, and looking through it, you can see it's about the Desnian faith, and it's spread from Barista throughout Avestan. It contains, among many other things, references to a sacred relic known as the Dusk Moth. And it just happens to be hidden in the stonework of an ancient temple called the Stairs of the Moon. And legends speak of priests transporting this relic to the temple, but what happened to it after that was lost when the Whispering Tyrant conquered Yusilov and the temple was abandoned. And you thumb your way through it to page 322, and you discover a highlighted passage. And it talks about the origin of the dust moth can be traced back. Talks about its role in ancient history. The priest constructed a temple to the goddess of dreams and disassembled the dust moth and incorporated its parts into a great observatory atop the temple. And the name of the temple was the Stairs of the Moon. And high atop the observatory during the twilight hour, the faithful enacted a sacred ritual of communication to activate the power of the dust moth, and it placed them in a heightened dream state in which they could communicate directly with the Song of the Spears. How's that for helpful?
Meh.
You're just mad because we didn't have to kill anyone.
I know, it's been hours. Come on. I'm getting really shaky.
Okay,
And you want to search the room for anything else?
yeah, I'll take a quick look around the rest of the room and see if I can find anything of interest.
Can I get you a roll of perception?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't find anything else of particular interest right now.
Okay. And I probably better get out of there before someone stumbles on me.
Okay, and you manage to relock the door and go back to meet the rest of the party. Okay, I'm gonna retcon for a minute. You did find something else in there.
Okay.
You find a stash of Esteban's notes and journals. And they detail his pro-aristocracy, anti-Palatine political stance. These are in old journals. You find a more recent journal. And 2 weeks prior to your arrival is the date. And, it appears that my past has come back to haunt me in the form of unexpected visitors who arrived last night. Ostensibly nobles from Cordod. They bore invitations. Belly committed them to see me. Their leader, a disturbing man named Arun Vrood, who carried a sinister-looking, twisted homunculi on his shoulder, confided to me that they were agents of the Whispering Way, come to finally collect the debt that I owed them for helping me with the spirit I discovered at the stairs so long ago. Brood requested that I arrange a meeting between him and one of the werewolves in the wood. Though I would prefer to have nothing more to do with them, um, I saw no choice but to acquiesce to their demands, lest they reveal my secrets to the Palatine Council. As Mathis is my sole ally among the packs, I will speak to him and arrange a meeting, and hopefully I can wash my hands of this whole sordid affair. And then, short time thereafter, Brood and his followers returned. I made my office immediately available to them, and they declined and requested a meeting with Madame Evanja instead. Mathis arrived shortly after and went straight to Evanja's tower as well. I am somewhat surprised by their choice of location, but I suppose even necromancers and werewolves have their needs. I spoke briefly with Mathis after the meeting, but he was unusually withdrawn and gave no hint at what was said at the meeting. And then 2 days before your arrival, the journal reads that a grave threat has befallen the Shutterwood, and he fears that, his origins lie at the lodge. Unknown forces, almost certainly agents of Rude and the Whispering Way, have attacked the stairs and butchered Kavada San, who was the pack leader of the werewolves, and they have stolen her heart for some dark purpose. Although their motives remain a mystery, this single act has thrown the entire hierarchy of the Shutterwoods pack into disarray and violence. He knows that it's customary when a pack lord dies for its successor to consume the heart, and with Sane's heart gone, the position of the pack lord shall fall to whoever can claim the title, either by recovering the lost heart, or more likely through force by slaying the leaders of the 4 rival tribes and adopting the surviving wolves into his own pack. Mathis has spoken to him before of his desire to become pack lord, and I now wonder if his secret meeting with Rude was the impetuous behind these events. Without the heart, he doubts the other tribes will accept Mathis as their leader. He might find allies with the Broken Ones, but the Volensag and the Jesdalians will never bow to his rule. And Mathis's concerns doubtlessly lie with his pack, not with me. However, I worry my allegiance with the Mordicant shall be forfeit. I fear greatly for the safety of the lodge, for if Mathis moves to take high throne without the heart, or it becomes known that his ascendance is due to the Whispering Way's interference, civil war will soon erupt among the packs of the woods, and the lodge will be caught in the middle. And guys, sorry, this session is mainly roleplay. There will
That's
be
all right.
combat next week.
Works for me. We can send Valthos down to the cellar to kill giant rats and skill up. Or you can go back to the woods and fight more boars. Alright, I'll share that information that we seem to now know who the collaborator at the lodge is. And we have another lead on the Whispering Way. I guess we're going to hit up Madame Alonja and her courtesans.
Okay, do you want to try to find him in the middle of the night, or do you want to wait till morning?
Yeah, I don't imagine that they'd appreciate it if we came barging in the middle of the night.
You need to call first. But I don't
Make
have
a
your number.
reservation.
Okay, night passes without incident, and the next morning appears, and you can smell breakfast coming from the dining room. The boar bacon smell is just rising up through the stairs, and
I unrolled my bedroll and slept in front of Torian's hearth. There was a lizard in my bed.
Just think of the next person that's going to have to sleep in that bed.
No one's ever complained before.
I bet they don't wash the sheets either. You didn't bolt, did you?
I'll have you know I'm much cleaner than you, blah, humans. You have smells and you sweat. It's disgusting.
And guys, do you mind if we take a 2-minute break? I got to run to the bathroom.
Sounds good.
Back.
That was like 3 seconds, not 10 minutes. Go away. Come back in another 9 minutes.
Okay. So, how's your girlfriend doing?
What? Then she got her teeth out?
Yeah.
Oh, she said it was fine the whole time. She they gave her some stuff that she's supposed to take twice a day to wash out her mouth and some normal pills, and then they gave her if your pain gets really bad, take these pills. And she said it was fine the whole time.
Yeah, that's good. It all really comes down to how good your dentist is.
Oh, it wasn't at the dentist. This was at the hospital.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they take you into the hospital for stuff like that here. So it was like a full surgery.
That's right. You all are up in Canada, aren't you?
Yeah, it was also free.
Fuckers.
So how is it down there in Trumpland?
Well, the price is no different with Trump than it was with Obama.
Well, that's not what Trump says.
And dental work is just unbelievable.
Now, in fairness, we don't get dental work generally. It must be because it was fairly serious that they would have taken Locke's girlfriend.
She had to go through a whole service and stuff, and I mean she's been waiting like 3 years to get in to get it done.
Ah,
That's a long wait.
Well, I'll tell you that you paid $10,000.
Yeah, as I'm finding out.
Yes, how much is it going to be for you to take all yours out?
Extraction, I'm looking at about $1,500. And then each implant, of which there'll be 5, is $1,800 each.
ouch.
Yeah. And that doesn't even count the cost of the dentures getting made or the normal dentist visits outside the surgeon. So all total, I'm going to have probably 14 to 15 grand wrapped up.
Yeah, she's now she's got that. Then she's got to go back in and get the lowers taken out, and then she's got to get dentures, and all of that's being covered by the company she's going through.
That is good.
Oh my god, this guy looks retarded. Which he's probably actually just drunk, but man, he looks like whoa. He's over at McDonald's across the street, and he's got like 1 foot up on the They got like a sidewalk built onto the side of McDonald's, so it's a little bit higher than the normal road level. And he's got like 1 foot up on it, and the other foot's just kind of like waving around, and he keeps like falling over, and he just kicked the wall. I think he broke his foot.
Is this a video or something you're seeing now?
Oh, I'm watching him across the street. He's probably one of those gangsters that walked by a little while ago. There was like a group of like 6 white guys that walked through, and man, they could not be more wigger if they tried. Like, they didn't walk. Okay, you gotta understand, up here, like, white people really, really think they're black. And they think they're gangster as shit, and there ain't no one around harder than they are. And they absolutely refuse to walk in a normal manner. Because the weirder you walk, the harder you are. So these guys were walking through, and they were basically like fucking breakdancing as they were going.
Oh, that is just too funny.
Like, they were just waving their fucking arms about, and they're like stomping their feet outwards, and like fucking, like, they were just dancing as they walked. Like, it was ridiculous. I was like, what are these idiots doing? And like they saw me looking over them, they're like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm watching one of those National fucking Geographic movies. Just like I'm actually there in person in the Serengeti, watching them in their natural habitat.
The shit you don't want to put on YouTube.
Oh my god, I'm like, come on, man. Like, we're up in Canada, keep it down in America. Like, having our neighbors be like that is bad enough, but now everyone up here is starting to act like that. Every generation they get dumber, I think.
Hey, it's the same down here as well.
Yeah, I know, but at least in America they can be like, oh, we're in America. We have an excuse. We're American. Sorry, did I say American? I mean, we're American.
American.
America.
That's right. This is Trump's America.
There ain't no A at the beginning of America. It's just an M. Oh, Torian said he's got to go and chat there, Winter.
Not a problem. Have a good evening, Torin.
Yeah, you guys too.
America.
America. Too funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you a Pokemon fan, Winter?
Not at all.
No? Oh my god.
User disconnected from your channel.
You're lucky. I love Pokemon. I've been playing since I was a kid. The most recent one, Sun and Moon, that came out. Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. I can't even. The bad guys in it were wiggers. Like, there's always like an evil team on the other side, like Team Rocket, Team shit. What were the other ones called? I don't even remember any of the other ones. I think they were like Fire and Ice in one of them. There was like 2 teams, and Team Chaos and shit. Just, they're all called Team something. Man, I got to show you a video of these guys, because I made it up to the part where you first meet them, and I put the game down and I never touched it again.
Oh, that's funny.
Team Skull, that's what they're called.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm too old for the Pokemon craze.
Well, I'm too old for it now for sure, but I started playing when I was a kid.
But how old are you now?
33?
I'm 48.
Yeah, so?
Missed it by a few years, fortunately.
Bah. Oh my god, they're so retarded. There's like when there's like 3 or 4 of them doing it all at once, it's bad. I think this video might just be one of them doing it. Oh my god. Watch this video. This is what they do, but there's usually like at least 2 of them doing it like side by side, and they're always doing it arrhythmically. So like one of them's doing one part, one of them's doing another part. So like they're gangsta as shit. All act like this now. It's just, oh my god, I can't go outside anymore. I don't even know what to think.
Well, hey, at least you're all not tearing yourselves apart over some stupid ass statues.
Oh my god. Here, it's got you gotta look at this one. It's got all the different characters from the Pokemon theme doing the Team Skull walk that they do, the gangsta walk. It is hilarious. They got like the hunched shoulders, and you know, like I'm gangsta shit. Don't fuck with me. Like that's the walk they're doing, you know. Oh my god, it's so hard to watch.
That was funny.
I saw them do that. Like it was like the first group that you meet, like 2 of them. They both walked out and they started doing that. Just like you want to fuck with us, man? We're gonna Pokemon battle, knock your Pokemon out. And I was like, close the DS, pull out the game, throw it in the garbage. That was a good $70 I just spent.
Pokemon has the shark.
Oh my god! And the other part of the game that makes it horrible is that okay, Pokemon Fire Red was like the big one. Like everyone loved those ones, the first ones that came out. They threw you in the game. They say, "Oh, you can't go into the grass without a Pokemon. Here's a Pokemon. Now go get stuff." And then you just go and you kill shit. And there's a little story here and there, but there's not very much. Pokemon Sun has the first 2 hours I played, I had one Pokemon battle, and the rest of it was just talking. After that, every time that I had I get like 3 battles and 3 screens over, and then there's another fucking tutorial on how to play the game, like over and over and over again. And this is like I'm 10 hours in, my guys were like level 5, and they start at level 2. I was like, what the fuck? Like this isn't Pokemon. This is a narrative story with like so gameplay intermixed in between it.
Oh, too funny. All right, let's wrap this little section up.
Yeah, all right, we're calling it here, are we?
Well, if you all want to meet with the fortune teller, we can.
I'm fine with waiting for next week when everyone's back. It doesn't matter to me. I'm good either way.
I'll let you all make that call. I'm good either way. We can wait. And
Yeah, it's fine with me. I got stuff going on here at work I wouldn't mind paying attention to, you know, work, not getting fired, stuff like that.
and hopefully next week we'll have the 4th player.
Sounds good.
Just link that video that I gave you, the first one, and say if you walk like this, you're welcome in our game.
I love it.
Oh my
All right,
god.
I'll see